let's get started. I'm actually gonna put a timer on.
Blood for the blood god.
Hope this fight doesn't get cancelled. Yes, blood for the blood god. Okay, let's get started. I'm gonna put a timer on, make sure the slides work. So, welcome to Noodleknite's presentation about his first Warhammer tournament. Welcome. So let's see the slides go. Yes. So pretty much a background. I may be wrong about some stuff during the tournament. I may not get all the rules right. I may get some parts right or wrong. I may get the tournament structure wrong and whatnot, but I'm pretty happy to be just doing this. And while I'm doing this presentation, feel free to ask questions. I don't mind. This is really informal. Like, I'm not getting marked like I did during post-secondary. I hope you enjoy how I structured the presentation. All right, so this is the overview of the Warhammer presentation. So the first thing we're going to be talking about is tournament structure. So how the Warhammer tournament is structured. Then we'll go over the rounds 1 through 5, about which ones I played. And then at the end of the presentation, we will summarize briefly about what we talked about. So, what is a Warhammer tournament? So, Warhammer tournament is an organized event where people, I wrote it wrong already, bring their painted armies and beat up other people's painted armies, or get beaten themselves, like I did. So, typically, for Warhammer tournament rules, they follow the Grand Tournament GT mission pack. So these are like map layout, deployment layout, and secondary and primary missions. This is to be provided by Games Workshop, and basically the mission packs come in like deck of cards or so, and like you shuffle the cards up, it's like you draw them, it's like, oh, this is my secondary and whatnot. So pretty much you'll be drawing 2 secondaries. Well, that was in 10th edition. I don't know what's like in 11th edition. You'll draw 2 secondaries, see what you get. So for example, you get something like called Bring It Down. Bring It Down is essentially a secondary where you want to kill monsters or vehicles that have 10 plus more wounds, and it scores you points for that. Another one would be, what was it? What is it? I can't remember, but there was one called like, I think it's called Sabotage. You'll have a 1 or 2 units or more do an action on objective, and you'll score points based on if they complete the action or not until the end of the battle round. So like, let's say, for example, you do Sabotage, right? You'll do like, hey, this unit's gonna do an action. It can't do anything else, can't shoot, can't fight, can't charge. It's done for that battle round. So yeah. Next slide. So how does a Warhammer tournament work? So every event is unique. A tournament will have its own player's document outlining what tournament layouts you'll use, missions, and local rules. Typically, tournaments will use the current edition's mission packs to set up and play your games of Warhammer, and how the rounds work. So typically, depending on the Warhammer tournament you're in, it can span from 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. My tournament spanned 2 days, right? And within those 2 days, it was a total of 5 games. And pairings, so in the first round, players are paired randomly. So everyone's like 0 to 0, 0 wins, 0 losses, right? And then after the first round, we go to the second round, and etc. And pairings are based on player records. So i.e. pairing a 2-1 player with another 2-1 player. So make it completely fair, completely good. Everyone's gonna be fun and have chill, most likely. Let's go to the next one. So army construction. So typically the tournament asks you to follow the core rules for that current edition. For my tournament, it was the 10th edition rules. So they followed that. Tournaments are played at 2,000 points. 2,000 points is the normal game size. Normally tournaments don't run 1,000 unless it's very local. But for tournaments like, the ones in Edmonton or whatever, I think Edmonton was the big one. There's a couple other big local ones too. I don't know. I can't really get into it. But yeah, they ask you to do 2,000 points. And armies must be battle ready. What is battle ready? So pretty much they're asking for fully painted or 3 or more colors, and the base has to be properly like painted as well. So what they mean is that you can't just color one shoulder pad, 3 different colors, and then the rest of it be gray. Can't do that. Cannot do that. Or you add like dots of paint on like just like in a dotted line and whatnot. Hi, Surgeon Doom. Yeah, I won a couple games, mind you. All right, and then we'll go to structure. So pretty much like I said, every tournament is different in how many days it'll run for. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, or how many rounds too. I think if it's a 1 day tournament, you'll typically be playing like 3 games. In the 2 days, 5 games, which is what I did. 3 days is, I never done the 3-day one, but I heard like 8 games is a lot to do with that. So in the rounds, right? So in the games you'll play against your opponent. 3 hours will be allocated from the start of the round. You have maybe about like 10 minutes to set up the table, 10 more minutes to explain what your list is, and vice versa. Your opponent explains what their list does. Chess clocks are also optional if people want to use chess clocks. Like let's say your opponent wants to use chess clocks, right? You'll allocate 1.5 hours for both sides. If you want to use chess clock, they have to be the ones to provide it, not you. Unless you yourself want to use a chess clock, then you have to provide it. And then when you're reviewing your lists, you want to inform your opponents about your specific army rules to avoid gotcha moments. And if you're uncertain about any rules oriented questions during gameplay and whatnot, seek out a judge. Judges are usually there to help out. A third opinion is also very helpful. So what I mean by gotcha moments is like, for example, during the tournament, I had I was playing World Eaters, by the way, and I had Khorne Berserkers, like World Eaters Berserkers. And during the list review, I'll be like, hey, these are my Khorne Berserkers. When you shoot them and a model dies, they can do like a Blood Surge ability and they can move into melee. Or it can be like, hey, these are my Exalted 8-bound. They're very good at killing vehicles. Get to have anti-monster 3, anti-vehicle 3, which means they're going to be wounding on 3s no matter what against monsters or vehicles. Tell them what your enhancements are. Like, hey, my Slaughterbound has this enhancement. My Lord on Juggernaut has another enhancement. It'd be like, hey, what? And then they ask you other questions as well. What's your detachment rule? What can this unit do? What's the ballistic skill, weapon skills of that? What's its movement and whatnot? The typical questions like that. And then finally, make sure to have fun and be a chill person. Don't be that guy. So when I was playing throughout the tournament, right? You'll be like, hey, I was telling them, this is my first ever tournament. I literally have no idea what I'm doing, except I know how to play my army. And be like, if you want, and you'll tell them, it's like, hey, this game is going to be chill, right? I'm okay if you want to take back stuff and whatnot. It's like, hey, like if you forget shooting before you go to charge phase, that's all right. Do your shots. Like everyone's very forgetful every now and then. It was really unfortunate that my friend had to play against that guy, unfortunately. So, long story short, his opponent did not explain what his units and army rules do. And my friend forgot to shoot with his Repulsor Executioner, the big giant tank in Space Marines. Just as soon as they're going in the charge phase, he's like, oh, I forgot to shoot with my tank. Can I shoot with it? And then his opponent says, no, we're already in charge phase. And not even, he said straight up no. The guy was not chill. So my friend just straight up surrendered at turn 3. So yeah, be a chill person, be respectful. Everyone's there to just have fun and be chill. Just bring that vibe with you. All right, let's go to the next slide. So the day before the tournament, so I'm staying at my friend's place, right? He offered to let me stay. He was also the one that offered, like, hey, do you want to enter this tournament with me? And I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. So the day before, we played a game of Warhammer. So what this means is that, we didn't have a table at all. We just played on the floor. And it was World Eaters versus Ultramarines. So I was playing Berserker Warband, which is what I brought for the event. And he was bringing Ultramarines. He was playing Blaze Ultramar. The true test of skill for this was trying not to step on the minis on the floor. And every time we had to reach down to like take away minis because they died, I had to bend down and knees are hurty. And ultimately, I think I was so tired because I was like out for like probably over 10 hours in that day because travel time and whatnot. Ultimately, the Ultramarines came out victorious. I lost that game. No crisscross sit down. He brought chairs out. You're right. Was this a just for fun tournament or was there a prize? It was a mix of both, right? So depending on what tournament you are, this one specifically, it was mostly for fun. There was no prizes depending on whether how many losses or how many wins you got. Prizes were determined by basically not really best general. Best general refers to who won the most, who was number one. It was mainly best sportsmanship, best painted and whatnot. And I think there was one more, I forget. But it depends. This tournament is almost never based on win ratio. Never ever. But yeah, I didn't step on any minis, fortunately, and he didn't, so that's good. And then here's a picture of Warhammer, so you can see playing Ultramarines, and he's playing his Ultramarines, and I'm playing my World Eaters. I think during this tournament, he brought like, I think 5 Dreadnoughts or so, and I only brought like Angron, Rhino, and whatnot. Yeah, bending down to take off minis off the board was kind of killer on your knees. Is very killer. But yeah. Is that Angron? Yeah, that is Angron. See, you can see right here. Yeah, I have the little blue thing. Ew. Ew. Aren't you the one that plays Death Guard though? You're the stinky one right there. Okay. So yeah, I lost this one. Warhammer is pretty fun. Repbacks kind of hurts. I also, if you can see in the corner right here, see where the blue thing is? That's the Gelman I painted for this friend. You can definitely see it over there. He's not using it for this tournament, but that's the Gelman I gave to a friend. I think there's also Marius Calgar somewhere. I can't see it though. But yeah, let's go to day one. Day one of the tournament. When the guys playing Sneaky Boys say Angron is you? Yeah, it's true. Okay, so basically, round 1, we're playing layout 7. I'll go over this in the next slide. So we're playing Mission D, which is the deployment and whatnot. So it refers to Scorched Earth and Tipping Point. Scorched Earth refers to the mission we're playing as, and Tipping Point is the deployment stuff. How you will deploy on the map. I won't actually post these in the slides because it'll take too long to explain it all. So if you want to see it and how it works, you'll have to search it up. But yeah, it was World Eaters versus Tal. I think it was, hold on, let me refer to my notes. Actually, I don't even remember what he did. I brought Berserker Warband. He brought, I think, Experimental Protocol, I believe. But yeah, the Tal player was really fun to play against, even though he brought 2 Storm Surges. Guy was super, super chilled out. It's like, because I forgot a lot of things, and he forgot a lot of things, so it was like, hey, you want to take it back? It's like, or you forgot something, just roll it. It doesn't matter. But I think the main highlight of that game was Angron charged into a Ghost Keel, right? He was supposed to kill it. I straight up only did 1 wound against it, and I dealt minimal damage. It sucked. I also, during turn 2, I failed 3 units charges with rerolls. So I rolled 6 times and then failed to get each of them. That really sucks. What else did I do? I think by the end of it, I only tied up 1 Storm Surge with a Lord on Juggernaut. In the end, ultimately lost. I got obliterated by mass shooting. Fun opponent to play against. We'll play against him again. Apparently my friend knew this guy too. Yeah, we won't go over Scorched Earth unless people want to know what it is, but I'm pretty sure most of you guys know what it is, according to Sergeant Doom. Should have brought a Typhon Heavy Siege Tank or Leviathan. Those are not permitted in tournaments because they are legends. Tournaments do not allow legends units at all. Nope, no can do. Unless it's like a local one that allows it, but ultimately, no. Ooh, what's up, Stop Motion? You're just in time. I was just explaining the first round. But yeah. So what I'm referring to is this layout right here. So this is terrain layout 7. So this is how the terrain is usually set up for the matches. So this is day 1 setup. And is that TLDR with Scorched Earth? Let's go back. So Scorched Earth, I wrote in my notes. So basically, shoot, I just copy pasted it. So basically, it involves basically controlling objective markers around the map, right? So you will score for each objective marker up to 10 VP per turn. This is in 10th edition, yes. This is in 10th edition. If you burn an objective marker in No Man's Land, you gain 5 VP, so you deny anyone of ever controlling that point again. If you burn the objective marker in your deployment zone, you score 10 instead. But basically, the scoring works is like you own one, or I think it's like you own one, you own more, you score 10 up to 10 VP or whatnot. Sorry if that's kind of confusing, but I kind of had a hard time understanding what this did. But yeah, when you do an action to burn objective, the objective is burn off the map. It no longer exists, and you score 5 in No Man's Land or 10 in your opponent's deployment. But yeah, tournament layout, went over this. This is the tournament layout for the day. It'll be like that until day 2, basically. And this is a couple pictures I took. Well, this is what I played against. So I think this was the first turn, and I think he had the first turn for as long as possible, and then slowly move back. Yeah, that is very true. I was you fishes. Yeah, he brought 2 storm surges, by the way, and this is my army right here, as you can see. But yeah, you can also see the little play on bag right there. So yeah, this is first turn. He got to go first. I think he got his ghost kill onto the middle objective too, and he also screened pretty well. Sorry, I kind of cropped the photo as well. But yeah, and I think this was I think turn 2. He blew up. So Angron was right here with the ghost kill. Ghost kill did not die. And then the storm surge, is right here, shooting into Angron. I think the storm surge got 12 damage into it. Jim unable to handle storm surge. No, I think he blew it up pretty early on. Those are plasma cannons. Storm surges, I believe, had 12 toughness. Forge fiends have 10 strength on their guns, and unfortunately, I think he hit them pretty well because he was not touching the terrain. So basically I couldn't see it. But yeah, don't play against Tau a lot. So that's also another point. Ultimately, this game was very brutal. I tried to rush up to him as quick as possible, but everything got pretty much shot off the board pretty early on. And I felt 6 charges, by the way, so I can get any charges in. 2 Riptides. He did not have any Riptides, actually. He had the Twin Lance, and I think he had some Vespid Stingwings back here. He also had that other named character. I can't remember. Shadow Sun. They had Shadow Sun. But yeah. Okay, let's go to the next one. Wow, we're doing pretty good for time. Okay, so this is going to be round 2. So unfortunately, I got the bye. So what I mean by the bye is that basically someone dropped out of the tournament and the people are uneven. So someone pretty much gets a free win and doesn't get to play a game. Yeah, the guy didn't bring any Riptides. That's what it is. So basically, I spent the whole 3 hours watching a friend's game. He was playing Ultramarines. He was playing Blades of Ultramar versus Chaos Space Marines. And I think this guy was playing, I think Huron's Marauders, I believe, or was it Renegade Raiders? I can't remember. But basically, they're doing take and hold tipping points. So take and hold is basically control 1, and then control, like, I guess 2 or 3 up to 15 points or so. Ultimately, Chaos Space Marines came out on top. So that was pretty. Oh yeah, Huron's Marauders. I did write that down. This was also my friend's first time playing against Hurons and his best friend, and it was very, very strong. Luckily, I think Huron's Marauders charged into Marnius Calgary's units of Blade Guard, and my friend used Epic Challenge and just straight up destroyed Huron in the epic duel. So basically, he just punched, and then he just straight up died. I only took 1 picture, And this was all I took. So you can see my friend's side over here. You can see like a big blob over here. I think there's, it's kind of hard to tell, but I think there's Hurons, Marauders, Abaddon, and a couple Chosen. And if I remember correctly, the Chaos Space Marine was also running 2 10-man blocks of Possess, which really hurt. I think the tipping point for the game was the Possess killing the Redemptor Dreadnought and the Repax in one turn. It was pretty scary. So yeah, I think they played it out, but I think his opponent scored max points, unfortunately. But yeah, that was the second battle round, which I didn't get to play, but I saw my friend get to play. It was pretty good. If you're wondering why this Dreadnought is black, these are some what's his face? Iron Hands. He got second hand. Doesn't have too much anti-horde. I have no idea. He probably does have anti-horde. And also Sergeant Doom stuff, but stuff is also in strategic reserves and deep strike as well. So not everything is on the board. So just to be warned. Also, if you can see back here, he's hiding stuff back here where this blue light is. So I kind of cropped it because there's stuff in the way. There's stuff over here. So yeah. I'm not going to post army list because then some people will be able to find it, unfortunately. But yeah. Okay, let's go to round 3. Also, there's cultists back here. There's some bikes. I've never seen someone use bikes back here too. Never seen any chaos bikes before. But yeah. Bought 20 Mark III Space Marines for Horse Heresy. Might play Chaos Space Marines in 40k. Chaos Space Marines is very good. I just suck at them. Probably because I only have roughly 2 or 3 games under my belt, so I kind of suck. Also, I'm trying to play them kind of shooty. Chaos Bikes can work. Chaos Bikes can work. This guy was very good. This guy has played competitive Warhammer for probably longer than both of us combined. Like, this guy was wearing like the team shirt too. Can't really say what his shirt is, but yeah, he played quite a lot. All right, let's go into round 3. So this one I actually did get to play in. This one was kind of sweaty because the guy brought a very sweaty list, and I'll go into detail pretty soon. So round 3, we're playing Mission F. We're playing Hidden Supplies, and the deployment is Hammer and Anvil. Hidden Supplies basically refers to you put 2 more objectives in no man's land, and basically you score 5 points for holding 1, score 5 more points for holding 2, and you score 5 more points for holding more than your opponent outside their deployment objective. So it's basically hold 1, hold more than your opponent up to 15 victory points. So this was World Eaters versus Emperor's Children. So Berserker Warband versus what is it? Coterie. I can't remember what it's called. What was that one called? Hold on, let me search it up. I suddenly forget. It was Coterie up to Conceited. That's what it was called. This one was super sweaty. This was also my first time playing against Emperor's Children. So what made it really sweaty was that he was running basically the meta list. So he had like 2 Rhinos, 2 Defilers, 2 Demon Princes, 2 Exultant Lords and whatnot. And basically, I did not know this earlier, but he gets like benefits from killing with more units. So he'll say during like 1 round. No, he brought 2 3-winged Demon Princes. He only brought 2. But what was I saying? Basically, he's like his attachment involves killing units. If he says he's gonna kill 1 unit or 2 units, and he does that, and he'll get buffs based on it. I also have never seen the Filers crit on 5s, advance and shoot, and advance and charge. That makes perfect sense to get them all the buffs. It's really strong. Lord Exultant, pretty OP. I did not realize they gave lethals, and with the detachment rerolls to 1s, and they get the blank damages, which is kind of dumb. Demon Princes also very dumb, -1 damage, so very hard to kill. The only good highlight for me was that I actually rolled 666 to bring back Angron, and then he died on my opponent's turn, so that was very unfortunate. So unfortunately, I lost this game pretty badly. Yep. It was a pretty sweaty game. The guy brought like a medalist. Also, his army was very, very well painted, as you can see. He also, up here, I learned what a display board is. Basically, if you're entering in the painting component of the tournament, you'll bring a display board, take a picture of your army, and then it may be voted for best painted army of the tournament. It was really well done. I talked to him about how long it took him to paint the army. Apparently, it took him about a year to paint everything. So not everything's on the board. Some stuff is on Deep Strike. I think he has his 2 demon princes in Deep Strike, I believe. But yeah, To the Flower is pretty nasty. Pretty nasty. In these rhinos, I think he has the melee battle line. I think they're called Tormentors. I can't remember, but they hurt. Yeah, the list was super dumb. I kind of hated it. Guy was pretty chill though. Like I said, pretty chill guy. Very sweaty list. Yeah, I lost this one pretty badly. I think this was the last game of the day, and we ended at so basically the tournament started at like 9. The first day ended at like 8 or 9 o'clock. So we were pretty much playing for almost like 10 to 12 hours straight. Well, not straight. We had 1 hour lunch or whatever. But yeah, it's a long day, so I was kind of just like mentally fatigued out. It was messed up. Okay, let me get some water and we'll go to the next slide. Okay, let's go to the next slide. So, moving on to day 2. Day 2 of the tournament. So, played 3 games on day 1, and we're going to play our final 2 games in day 2. So, that's pretty good. So, let's go to round 4. Round 4, we're playing layout 1. We're playing linchpin with search and destroy deployments. I'm playing against Tyranids. Yes, stop motion. I'm playing against Tyranids. So, the guy brought 18 Hive Guard and 20 Barb Gaunts. That's a lot of indirect fire, by the way. Also, sorry, Tyranids, he's playing Invasion Fleet. So the vanilla Tyranid detachment. Still, it's always really, really strong. So basically, Angron. So turn 2, Angron basically charges into old One-Eye and Carnifexes, and he absolutely demolishes them. It's very, very cool. But unfortunately, I deep striked basically everything that was in deep strike on turn 2, and I failed all my 8-bound charges except for 1. So I had 4 8-bound units on the ground. 2 of them were exalted, and I failed 3 of them. Yeah, the 18 Hive Guard and the Barb Gaunts were pretty intense. I never seen. I think he fired like 70 something shots, and indirect fire too, which was pretty nasty. Yeah, he also battle shocked my entire army in turn 3. So I learned this. I apparently, Khorne Berserkers cannot blood surge when they are battle shocked. So that is good to know. Very, very good to know. That's a good thing to know. Berserkers can't blood surge when they're battle shocked, which is pretty nasty. Guy also brought like 2 Tyrannofexes too. So it was very hard to punch up if I didn't have the blessings for lethal hits. So unfortunately, Angron was on the opposite side of the board from the Tyrannofexes. But it was really cool though. I also lost this game. Guy was also pretty chill. Losing my Forest Fiend was pretty nasty too, because he was right on the objective and then he blew up, unfortunately. Yeah, this guy right here, he 3D printed his entire Tyranid army, which is pretty cool. Oh, sorry, to explain what linchpin is. So basically, you want to control your home objective, right? And you'll score 3 victory points for that, for the home objective. And then if you control your home objective, you score 3 VP. And then for every objective you control in No Man's Land or their enemy point, you will score 5. However, if you don't control your home objective, for every objective you control, excluding your home, you only score 3, which is pretty intense, honestly. It's very, very intense. So basically, if you don't keep your home objective, you score less. GW looking 3D prints are legit proxies like Station Forge. Oh, this guy. He told me he did it himself, so he'll put them through like a program, and it will pretty much like give you like a basic basic body, but then he'll just put it in like I guess like ZBrush or whatever, and then to fine tune it or whatnot. But yeah, we can see. But this is, I think this is the end of the first turn. So this is the end of first turn. So you can kind of see where his Tyranids are. They look pretty much exactly the same, right? I think right here is his old one-eye proxy. It was really cool, honestly. But yeah, everything you see here that is on the Tyranid side, he 3D printed. Yeah, GW look like. Yep, exactly. They all look like GW stuff. But yeah, it was pretty nasty. I think my forest screen's right here. So I positioned here, then he blew it up in the next couple turns. I actually did the worst thing I could do possible. Oh no, I didn't do. If you're wondering why nothing's on my home objective, I had jackals there and he blew it up with indirect fire, unfortunately. But fortunately, I had to sticky it with the stratagem that when a unit dies, I get to sticky it. So like I had to keep this home objective. Otherwise, I would score less points per turn. But yeah, this is I think turn 3. My Angron straight up pretty much died, and then as soon as I got all my Deep Strike out of Deep Strike reserves, he basically got all his Hive Guard and then just straight up charged. Did he have any Deep Strike? No, he had no Deep Strikes. He basically just shot me off the board. Don't like that close-up 3D prints. I'm okay if it's like drastic pose change to just something of his own like Station Forge. Oh, okay. Yeah, this guy just straight up 3D printed them, but I thought they were really cool though. But yeah, I literally got shot off the board, unfortunately. It was very sad. I also learned, I've been playing it super wrong. I didn't realize normal 8-bound can't Deep Strike. It's only Exalted 8-bound that can Deep Strike. So from now on, I need to keep 8-bound on the board. Oh yeah, there's no Parasite and Mortrex or whatever it's called. But yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. He had Biovores too. Biovores were pretty much just securing secondaries. I think he had a Biovore here. I think this is actually a Pyrovore. No, I got it mixed up. Pyrovores here and a Biovores in the middle. You can see his Hive Tyrant right there that he 3D printed. I can't remember what enhancement he gave it, but it slapped pretty hard. It was a tough matchup. I also kind of sucked at playing into Tyranids. Because I think though, one of the reasons I actually lost the games, because apparently World Eaters are not supposed to bring Angron, because he kind of sucks in the army. But yeah, all the other World Eaters lists, I think I saw one running 30 Terminators, which he won a lot. Will I have a Biovore on the line? I have no idea. Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry, stop motion. 2 Pyrovores, and over here is the Biovore. So Pyrovore, Biovore. I forgot his Biovore looks completely different. No, I got it backwards. He put his Pyrovores up front, and he has Biovore sitting right there. My bad. Because he 3D printed this one, and then all the other ones too, so it's kind of hard to see. He did explain that to me, but I think it's been a couple of weeks. I totally forgot. But yeah, that's what it is. And he has a bunch of Barb Gaunts over here too. But yeah, Hive Tyrants really hurt. T7 is kind of tough for Berserkers who don't charge. But yeah, okay, now that's enough with Tyranids, hopefully. We're going to the last round actually. Round 5. This was the last game of the tournament. And we were playing... Oh, this one was probably the only one I won actually. So we're playing Mission M, so Purge the Foe, and deployment is Crucible of Battle. And I was playing against Orcs. I believe the Orcs were playing Tactical Brigade. So Tactical Brigade, I remember, is basically, it plays like Imperial Guard, except your Orcs giving commands to other Orcs, and it's very cool. So yeah, turn 2, I dropped everything and chaos ensues. What I mean by chaos ensues, it means I got a lot of charges off. Like, this was the only game where any of my charges actually worked completely and actually killed everything. It was so cool. I dropped everything. I dropped my 8-bound, my Exalted 8-bound. They charged in. Slaughterbound pretty much destroyed a bunch of Storm Boys. And then the other Exalted 8-bound plus 10-man Berserkers with Karn destroyed, I think, more Storm Boys in the north side of the board. But yeah, Ordan Juggernaut charges and kills looters. So what I mean by this is that on the board in his deployment, he had looters in his deployment zone, and I was able to charge them all and kill them, luckily, because looters really hurt because they have heavy and damage to weapons. This thing was kind of killing me. I don't know what their range is, but I think it's higher than 24. I believe it's like 36. It was pretty insane. Also, I did not get to kill Gaz. He had Gaz Cool on his army. I was trying so hard to kill it, but Makari never ever made a save roll of 1 because Makari has an invuln save of 2. I could not. I put so many attacks into that thing and it did not die. But yeah, first turn, blasted his commandos with a Forge Fiend. They all die. He was it? I wrote some notes down. So I pushed up my Forge Fiend a little bit, right, in the first turn. On his turn in the first round, he charges into my 8-bound and Forge Fiend. After he punched the Forge Fiend, I interrupt with my 8-bound and kill a bunch of knobs attached to Gaz. 48-inch Ludas. Yeah, that thing is like messed up. He just kept them there and just kept shooting. I did not want to deal with that anymore. But yeah, 8-bound, kill a bunch of knobs attached to Gaz, but ultimately my 8-bound dies. I also dropped, like I said, I dropped a bunch of Exalted 8-bound. So my Slaughterbound with Exalted 8-bound killed off the knobs attached to Gaz, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, like I said before, the other 8-bound and 10-man straight up killed all the Storm Boys. Yep, Angron lives on 2 HP until like maybe turn 3 or so. It was really weird. He lived on 2 HP for so long, and then all of a sudden he just straight up dies. But the funny thing was, he was not the only one that lived that long. I had a Forge Fiend from round 2 living on one or something, 1 or 2 HP, and he lived until like, oh sorry, I wrote it down here. He had 1 HP from turn 3. My Forge Fiend had 1 HP from turn 3, and he made it all the way to turn 5 and then lived. Did I place in the higher half or lower half? I unfortunately placed in the lower half. Yeah, it was pretty sad. I went 2 and 3 in this tournament. The bye actually counted for a win, so I'll take that. But I only got to one actually. I got to win 1 actual game, but that's about it. So, ooh, why didn't it go forward? There we go. So, this was the final game of the tournament. You can see I actually forgot to take a picture before we started moving. But yeah, this is my opponent's like army. He has, I think his Gaz is over here with a bunch of knobs. If you're wondering what this thing is, that was his Morkanaut. This was his like really cool Morkanaut that he like hit bashed. It was so cool. I think in the Morkanaut was a bunch of flash kits. But yeah, he had 2 commandos. You can see the commandos right here. He split them off. There was one originally here, but I blew it off with this Forge Fiend. But a bunch of looters here. I can't remember what these things are. I think those are Storm Boys. Yeah, those are Storm Boys. Storm Boys. I don't remember what this thing is. I think he uppy downied it at some point. But yeah, it was pretty cool. But basically what I mean by chaos ensues, this is what happened on his turn 1. So his turn 1, he called the Wah and then did this. So like I said, he charged into my Forge Fiend with his... These are commandos. Yep, those are commandos. He started hitting it. He charged into my 8-bound and then also my Forge Fiend with this Knobs and Gascool. I think he fought with the commandos first. And then I interrupted right here and fought off his Knobs. I unfortunately didn't get to kill them all, but Angron's literally right here. And then on turn 2, I charge in and then got killed pretty much a lot of things. But yeah, and then this was during the middle objective. I think he charged in here with his, I can't, yeah, these are Storm Boys as well. He charged in. I think I had to fight on Death Keyword with my Blessings of Corin. So he killed, I think, how many do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He kills 3. I think I almost wiped the unit with those fight on deaths. But then I actually do, because I have like 7 berserkers here and they get like 4 attacks each, and it does literally destroy the Storm Boys. And then I think up here, like I said, up in the north side of the board, I drop down turn 2 like 8 bound and whatnot, and then Karen's party bus goes up here and it kills everything. It was basically known contest. Like Karen and 10 berserkers, when they charged in, how many attacks is that? So normally Corn Berserkers get 4 attacks. When they charge in, it's bumped up to 5. And I think all of them can make attacks. That's like 50 attacks. Plus Karn, they get they get rerolls of hit of 1s to hit and rerolls of 1s to wound, which is pretty intense. So I was like, he basically says like, yeah, they're all dead. I'm just gonna scoop them up. But yeah, that was my technically only actual win of the tournament, which was pretty fun. The guy's orc army was really, really cool. It was super, super cool. So yeah, quick summary of what we talked about. So I got convinced to join the tournament from a friend. I got convinced, I think, in April or so. So it was a couple months before, but it was like, hey, you should join this tournament and whatnot. This was also my first time playing in the competitive scene. So normally I got to play with friends and whatnot. So we don't normally use the competitive like layouts and whatnot, but we do use match play rules. So yeah, I don't think I've ever played with the GT mission packed layouts before, so it was pretty cool. The only game I actually won was against orcs. Like I said, I got the bye, so technically that counts as a win because the players were uneven. So some person had to be matched up against no one. And I got matched up against no one, unfortunately. Went 2 and 3, like I said. Yep, I get the buy-in discount. My takeaway from this is that I will probably go to more tournaments in the future. I really enjoyed it. I think in 11th edition, I might play a couple games with my World Eaters. But I think going forward, I kind of want actual shooting in an army to help support my frontline melee units. So I'm thinking in the future tournaments, I would be either running Dark Angels or my Chaos Space Marines running Iron Warriors. So yeah, the Iron Warriors I'm painting, I'm probably gonna use them for tournament play. I just need a lot more practice with them. And that's the end. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll take maybe 5 to 10 minutes if you have any questions or whatnot before we get into Darktide. But yeah, thank you for watching my presentation. I really hope you enjoyed it. I actually had no practice in talking to myself when preparing this, honestly. It's really cool though. I guess all those times I presented during presentation, during post-secondary helps a lot because public speaking. How was the food? It was good. Normally tournaments provide food, but this one did not. So we had to. So for lunchtime, me and my friend, we went out and just got Dairy Queen. That was just it. Were there any changes to your list that you're considering? Yes, actually. I actually changed my list a couple times before I got into the tournament. So I think originally I wanted to run a Land Raider, but it was too big to move around. It's very wide. I wanted them for the 8-bound. I wanted to run a 6-man unit of 8-bound, but it did not work out as planned. So I split up the 8-bound, so I had 2 minimum squads of 8-bound, and I took out the Land Raider for more Exalted 8-bound. And yeah, if you're wondering if I'm gonna make any changes like after this tournament, I think one of the major changes would be to take out Angron, add a Demon Prince, and then add maybe more Berserkers. So I would be running a 20-man Berserker squad with the Lord on Juggernaut, just because you can get all those attacks in due to the Lord on Juggernaut's ability to make them attack within 3 inches. And the Demon Prince is just another heavy hitter, but for far cheaper. Did you use any of them in the game? Just want to know. I did use them. I did. I took your tip about attaching the Slaughterbound to Exalted 8-bound, and they actually hit really hard against monsters and vehicles. That was super nice. Unfortunately, I did not get the charges in. But yeah, you also told me to split up my 8-bound units too. So because running 6 is not that good, because there's no benefit to running 6 in the squad, because you don't get buffs from anything. What else did I do? But yeah, it was good. It was very good. I learned something that I can do with the Rhino too. So let's go back a little bit. Oh, sorry. Are there any factions you want to play against in the future and you don't want to fight? Ooh, that's a good one. Future factions I would want to fight against in the competitive scene would probably be... I've never played against Gene Stealer cults, so that would be a nice one to fight against. I've never played against them before. Maybe some Eldar. I'm looking forward to Eldar, but I heard a lot of bad things about them because they're stupidly good. And if there's any I don't want to fight, I don't want to fight against Emperor's Children again. That was just awful. Staging, hiding behind terrain for next round. Yep. I did stage. If you're touching the terrain feature, it most likely means your opponent can see them too. But if you're like, so let me go back a little bit. So you see the invisible markers. So you see right here, there's invisible markers right here. Let's say like Angron was like touching it. You would be able to see them. You would be able to see them in 10th edition. If a Forge Fiend was touching like a terrain feature, you would also be able to see them. So make sure like your vehicles are not touching like this invisible rectangle, and then you won't be able to see it at all. So all the terrain is infinitely vertical, but if you're touching it, you're going to be able to shoot out of it, and then your opponent is going to be able to shoot you as well. That's what I learned really hard, because I don't play a lot of shooting armies. But yeah, that was really hard thing for me to grasp. Unfortunately, my friend did not tell me any of it, unfortunately. I also had to learn what Titanic is in the first round, which was pretty nasty. But the guy was, honestly, I'm gonna tell you right now, like, I know you guys have like your thing to say about Tao, but honestly, that Tao guy was super chill. He was like the most chilled out guy throughout the tournament that I played against. And it was very funny too, because my friend has played against him too. Like, he was very down to earth. Very down to earth. Yeah, he helped me out a lot. That was the first time playing against a really chill guy in the first round. And also my first game of the competitive scene. But yeah, I think maybe we can take a couple more questions, unless you guys want to move on to Darktide. I don't mind. I think I will be posting this this presentation as a separate video on the YouTube channel. So yeah, they fold like words I cannot say. Yeah, Eldar do fold pretty hard. I think one of my buddies was playing Eldar like when at my place, and he just played them like Space Marines or Grey Knights and thought they were tanky enough. He also got gotchas for the Blood Surge, because I Blood Surge into his Warp Spiders, and then I just killed them because I got the first attack. Will you do more presentations for future tourneys? Yeah, I think I will. It's just that tournaments don't pop up every now and then. Like the next one I was thinking about would probably be in the late fall or early winter, so it's very far out there, but I would be totally down if you guys like the presentations and whatnot. Biggest takeaway from my first tournament, the biggest takeaway is that like everyone's there to pretty much just have fun, because like how often do you guys get to play Warhammer and like that many Warhammer games in a weekend? Like, having to plan everything really sucks. So being able to get 5 Warhammer games in 2 days is pretty amazing, because sometimes I get to play Warhammer games and it can be between like sometimes every week, sometimes every couple months or so. So it's really cool. You get to meet a lot of chill people too. Like, I'm usually a pretty anxious person when meeting new people, but you have to take that push to be able to play the things you want to do. Like, I thought people were gonna be very competitive to the point where it's like Marvel Rivals or League of Legends, but honestly, it's not like that. It's not like that. Everyone there was probably a lot older than me, because like, what's the Warhammer demographic like 30s, 40s, 50s, and kind of whatnot. 3 games in every other month. Yeah, that was my biggest takeaway. Like, don't be afraid to join a tournament just because like you're anxious about like, oh, people are gonna be incredibly rude to me. People are not gonna like how my army is painted and whatnot. Just do it. It's like a push forward to grow yourself is what I want to say. And it was better too, because my friend, he was the one who invited me, and he was like, yeah, you should totally join. And I was like, I was really hesitant at first. I was like, I kind of don't want to do it, but I was like, you know what, let's just do it. Like, I never done this before, and it was probably like one of the it ended up being a really great time. But yeah, I think that's a good time to end questions, unless, yeah, I think that's a good time to end questions. I think, okay, I timed myself. That was a super long presentation. But likewise, I'm not doing a presentation for school. So, because usually school has like, oh, you gotta do a 10-minute presentation, or you gotta do a 20-minute presentation. You know what it's like to do a 10-minute presentation between 3 people? It's pretty time, like, there's a big time constraint. There's a super big time constraint, because like, let's say you're doing like a couple slides, right? Like, you get like handed a couple slides. You have to manage to talk. Like, you can't really do like a minute per slide. Actually, no, you can do a minute per slide, which is pretty astronomically short. So yeah, that's really messed up. Like, if you guys do public speaking for post-secondary, please do it. It's so helpful, because you have to learn how to talk to people. But yeah, thank you. Okay, let's play some Darktide. I'll just need maybe about 5 minutes to set up, so I will be right back or so to set up everything.